Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actor François Chau with me. So welcome, Francois.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, I've done almost 900 episodes of this podcast, and you're my first Francois.
All right. Hey, see? Well, I guess you got to take your podcast to France or something. Man.
That's right. That's right. Obviously, there's a demographic I'm missing.
Yeah.
People with the name Francois.
There you go.
No, sir, I'm such a fan of yours. You know, you tend to do a lot of nerdy content, and you show up. You know, loved you on the Penguin that just happened. Just through the years, you know, I've been watching you since the I don't know, the 90s probably.
Yeah. No, it's I've been very lucky I just stuck around.
Yeah, well, you know, that's not easy in the entertainment business.
That's why, yeah.
But let's start that way. Tell me a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business. Acting's kind of a hard profession. Why'd you choose that?
It is. You know, in high school, I kind of fell into it. I did some plays, and I thought, this feels pretty good. This is kind of fun. And so you know, I went to university. I got a degree in theater and acting.
Yeah.
And boy, that degree is you can show that to people and they'll go, what? It doesn't. It was good. It was a good time. But I wanted to do. I did a lot of theater, but I wanted to do film and TV.
Yeah.
So I moved out to LA. God, 1984. So,
well, you know, I was thinking back and I'm like, well, you voiced on G.I. Joe in the 80s. So I was probably listening to you before I was watching you.
That was my first professional gig in LA.
Quick Kick.
Yeah, Quick Kick. Yeah. Quick Kick, the shirtless guy his first appearance is in the Arctic.
You know, I thought it was like in my head, I'm like, I think he showed up in the snow.
Yeah, no, he was it was like his introduction was because he was a Hollywood stuntman, right?
Yeah.
And he was doing a commercial somewhere in the Arctic without his shirt.
Like, apparently that was his superpower was
he
can withstand cold.
That's right. Quick Kick was the first first gig, and then I got really lucky after that. I started doing some small parts in TV shows, and I just all these after these, like, God, it's been 40 years. I just I kid around. I tell people, and especially my fans I meet at cons and stuff, that when you see my face, you're gonna go, oh, that guy, yeah, I know him. I don't know who he is, or I don't know what his name is. Yeah, that guy. I know. I've seen him in all sorts of stuff. That guy.
Is that guy again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I saw that guy again on Penguin, I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna try to get him. Yeah. And you were nice enough to come on the show.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, the triad boss is kind of my wheelhouse.
Well, yeah, you tend to hit some of those, and maybe some doctors, some scientists.
Yeah. When I was younger, when I first started getting stuff, I was the gang member, right? Gang member, leather jacket, blah blah blah. And then as I started working more, I got promoted to the boss.
You were the leader.
I was a leader, and then even more, I went on to be the guy, the head guy in the Armani suit. Usually the head whatever drug dealer or whatever. So that lasted for a long time, and that was great. These days,
You
I'm
do a
more.
good job looking menacing, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I just got and that's it. Uh, but these days, I play a little more. I play a lot of dads now. I play dads to a lot of people, and sooner or later, I meet people. I'm gonna say sooner or later, I'm gonna play your dad. No,
Well, in 15, 20 years, maybe you can play their granddad.
there you go. There you go.
Oh shoot. Was were you a gang member on Hill Street Blues? Do you remember back that far?
My first on camera gig. Yeah,
Love that show.
I was a gang member. I was
I'd
with
love to
my
say I remember that you
yeah
were in that, but I haven't watched Hill Street Blues, since it went off the air. But I loved it
yeah
when it was on.
yeah. That was sort of the first kind of gritty sort of people going home, man.
Yeah.
They could show this on TV kind of thing.
Well,
It
and
was
it
great.
ran, they ran that comedy block from 8 to
Yeah,
10 on Thursdays, and then Hill
right.
Street Blues, and later it would be like LA Law or something would take its
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah,
That was the
yeah.
block. So you could settle in at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. You're good to 11.
That's right. That's right. The old network TV time, man.
I
Uh,
kind of miss those days just because it was that you only had the one shot to see an
yeah,
episode,
yeah,
and then you had
yeah.
to wait till summer, so
Right.
you had plenty of time to dissect it. But it kind of made everybody was around their TV in the
Yeah,
evenings every night.
yeah. I think when did the recording start? The VHS you could record
I'm
the
thinking
shows
it
and
probably started in the 80s, but I'm thinking we
late
didn't get
80s maybe,
ours
yeah.
till maybe
Yeah,
closer to 90 before we got
yeah, could
see
be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah, just like I gotta set my
Gotta
recorder
set the
for,
tape.
make sure it
My
doesn't have to
dad
be
and
another
I,
tape.
anytime we watch a lot of sports together, and anytime we're watching, that's what we say to each other. Make sure you set the tape in case
Yeah.
we're running late. And there's no tapes anymore.
No, no.
Showing our age.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, those good old days when we had to push the button and
Yeah, and you're ready to go. Unless the tape got stuck up in there, then
that's right.
disaster.
That's right.
And you're always recording over something important.
Yeah.
You accidentally record over somebody's ball game or dance recital or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
Oh
I
shoot.
remember. I remember it well.
Yeah. My stepdaughter said to make sure to tell you her favorite show's Lost, always
Right.
has been, and she's rewatched it about 10 times. So
Hmm.
she said she always knows the show's getting ready to get good when your character shows up. That's
Well,
her signal that it's getting ready to take off.
when you see her, you can ask her if she can explain it to me because I'm watching it. This is great, but I'm not sure I know what's going on.
I had Nestor
Yeah.
Carbonell on a couple years ago, and I asked him
Right.
that question. I was like, "Do you know
Yeah.
what that ending meant?" And he gave me this really long answer, but at the end of it, I was like, "So you don't know either?"
No, I thought it was a pretty good ending because people watch it, they'll take away whatever they want from it.
That's right.
This is what they
I
think
liked
of
it
it. This
too.
is what this person. So it was great. I don't know what else they could have.
I
Of
mean,
course,
the
there's all.
show was, it you never quite figured out exactly what was going on during the show, so the ending
Yeah,
kind of fit for me.
yeah,
It left
yeah,
it to, you can decide.
yeah. Well, I had a college friend who was a big, big Lost fan. And finale night, and afterwards, I got a call from him, and he's like, "God damn it, you just made me waste like 8 years of my life."
He was blaming you.
I was like, "Oh man."
Well, it would be difficult. And I thought Lost did a really good job. It'd be difficult keep the momentum going after that
Oh yeah,
first season. It was such a hit after that
yeah.
first
Oh yeah.
year.
It was.
And I thought they did pretty well kind of keeping the suspense going because
Mhm.
they probably were hoping, but I don't know that they expected it to do, what it did. It kind of became a phenomenon there for a while.
Well, the rumor that I heard was that the producers were only wanted to go like six seasons, I think,
Yeah.
or no, four or five seasons. But there was such a big hit, and they were making ABC such a load of money that ABC and Disney just said, no, you gotta keep going. So they were like, oh well, okay, let's
All
see what
right.
we can come up with.
I mean, you look back on that cast at the time, we knew that cast was incredible, but looking
Yeah.
back on it, even better than what we thought at the time. I mean, the
Oh
actors
yeah.
in that
Oh yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you have you watched From the show
No,
From?
that's on the list of shows that I have, of course, I should watch. There's a certain window,
That's right.
right? If it goes
You gotta
past
be
the
quick.
window, it's really hard to get back and go, oh yeah, this show. I should.
It's very Lost like with a little bit
Yeah,
more of a horror feel. That's why I was
right.
thinking, maybe.
Yeah. All
Well,
right. Well,
it's got Harold on it.
there you
He's the
go. Yeah,
star.
Harold, right?
So it's got a connection there.
Yeah.
Well, so that was my stepdaughter. My son, who helps me with the podcast, um, he knows you as Shredder.
Yeah. There you go. It's still amazes me how popular it still is. It's
They're still
I go
making
to
movies.
uh, I I go to these Comic Cons, and middle-aged guys will come up to me and like, oh my God, you scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Oh, you should I'm like, well, thanks, man. And then they say, oh, now I got my kids into it. It's a new generation of fans coming up, and it's going. It's like, wow, okay.
I know it,
Uh,
and it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It looks
yeah.
kind of like something kids would enjoy, but
Oh
the
yeah.
actual
Yeah.
comic book
Yeah.
was really made for adults.
Oh yeah.
It's a
No,
little bit older.
I read the comic books, and
Yeah.
that first movie, people think, oh, it's either going to be a kids movie, but it's not for kids. It's a
No, you're
little.
right. That first one, it was, yeah, maybe teenagers, but not
Yeah, but
kids.
no, not for little kids. So so that's why the second movie, they said, oh man, we gotta like second movie is like a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, you got to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. It was like the Secret of the Ooze, I think is what
Right,
they called it.
right. There was a lot of fighting, but nobody got nobody got
It
killed
kind
or
of
anything.
reminded me of that '70s Spider-Man show where
Yes.
he didn't have any super villains to fight. He just mostly
No.
fought people that knew martial arts.
Yeah.
So it kind
Yeah.
of reminded me of that, but nobody really got hurt.
No. No. It was just him crawling up the wall and kind of swinging from his web, and
He knocked a lot of people over, but they
he
got right
did.
back up.
He was great. What was God? He was one of the kids from The Sound of Music. I forget his name already. The Spider-Man TV show in the
No,
70s.
really.
Yeah, he was one of the kids. He was like the
Sound of Music
older.
is one of my favorite movies ever. I
Yeah,
love that movie.
yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. Nicholas, something, I forget his
Oh,
name.
I'll
He's
find
sometimes like,
out.
oh yeah,
And I should have recognized him. I watched that show. Of course, I was 8 or 10 years old
yeah,
at the
yeah, yeah.
time, but yeah, yeah, I had no idea that.
Oh
That
yeah,
actually makes it even better.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not terrible. I was pleasantly surprised when you showed up on Penguin because
Oh,
that as soon as I saw you, I was like, well, of course you're on here. That seems like a good role for you. What a show.
that was. I mean, it was amazing. I'm still. Before anything happened, I said to my wife and to my friends, Colin Farrell is going to be winning like these everything from on a war
How
season,
could he
and
not?
then yeah, and also Kristen uh, was
Her
amazing.
performance, I think, is going to open a lot of people's eyes. I've always been
Oh
a
yeah,
fan of hers, but I think that one, she
yeah,
does a lot of stuff that's not, it's not exactly mainstream, so
right.
it's more uh stuff if you like the independent stuff and the
Hmm.
cult stuff, she's in
Hmm.
that. But
Yeah.
this one I think is really going to get the eyes on her because what
Oh
a
yeah. Oh
performance!
yeah. No, it was amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
It was one of those performances that it was hard. It was hard to know who to root for,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, because
I
you
know.
wanted to root for her, but she was kind of messed up.
The both of them, right? There's a point where you go,
Well,
wow,
yeah,
that's
even with Colin, yeah, you kind of you hope to you kind of start getting sympathetic, and then you
right.
get that ending,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you're
Exactly.
like,
You kind of
oh,
go, am I supposed to
I
root for
loved it
him?
though because I think that was the intent. We're
Yeah.
gonna make him sympathetic, but at the end, we're gonna remind you he's a villain.
Yeah, he's yeah, that's how he yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was a really you know, lucky enough to be part of it, but it was really a great show. I watched it and I was like, wow, man,
it was
this is
well
good
done.
stuff. Yeah.
Hard to watch in parts, you know, because
Oh yeah.
it was pretty rough, but
Yeah.
what a show!
Yeah.
And DC honestly, they needed that. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Batman movie that kind of went along with it also excellent. But
Right.
DC, they needed a reboot and to kind of
Yeah.
try.
Well, I'm a big superhero comic fan, and I watch all the Marvel stuff, and I loved all the DC stuff. I thought I was like, oh, this
Well,
is
I
pretty
was that way.
good.
I was a comic book store owner back in the
Oh,
'90s,
okay.
so just seeing it on screen was
Yeah,
good
yeah,
for
yeah,
me. But
yeah.
I thought it was better than what a lot of people kind of gave it
Right,
credit for.
right,
I
right. I
think the
mean,
problem it didn't flow quite as well as Marvel's group of movies. But if you take
mhm,
each movie individually,
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. No, pretty good. It's not, maybe people were expecting like a little more. I don't know if they thought DC was a little because it's a little darker than,
It's a little darker. DC's
yeah.
darker.
So maybe people wanted something else. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
thought it
know.
was great.
But the new stuff seems pretty
Yeah,
good so far. I'm pretty
I,
excited for it.
yeah. I'm waiting to see the new Superman.
Oh
See
yeah,
what
the
happens. Yeah,
previews look pretty good.
yeah. All
We'll
right.
see. Now James Gunn, I think he's got a good handle on it because
Yeah.
you need somebody running it that actually knows the backstories
Knows.
and the
Yeah.
history,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he seems to know that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's difficult for those franchises, characters, and stuff that have been around for decades.
Hmm.
It's tough because
Yeah.
if you don't get it right, you're going to
Yeah.
hear about it because
Oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
fans know
There's
the details.
yeah. Well, it's got crypto, so I'm looking forward to it.
I got my son. His dog's named Crypto, so he
All
was
right.
way excited when that happened. So this one kind of dawned on me as I was getting ready for the interview because I should have wrote it down, but I never did. But you got to do that Beverly Hills Ninja movie with Chris Farley back in the '90s. So I wanted to mention that because I mean I think we all feel that loss still.
Oh, there's a scene where I think I get killed and I fall into his little rowboat. So we were down in San Pedro filming it, and I spent most of the day like with him in that rowboat. And he was a great guy. It was just like, I get it, I get
He
well,
was just
he's just
funny naturally, I think.
yeah, 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 you know. But yeah, it was fun to do with him.
Yeah,
See,
not too.
another
Yeah,
another movie where people will go, oh wait a minute, you're that guy.
yeah. I know that's kind of everything you're in. You're that guy.
Yeah, I am.
Which, speaking of, one of my favorite book series is the Expanse,
Ah,
and the series actually lived up to the books, which is
yeah,
rare.
yeah,
That's so rare.
yeah.
Really did. But you played Mao and did a great job with that.
Oh, thanks.
Jean Pierre, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I didn't know that the books were so popular, right?
Yeah.
They were we started shooting it, and I was like, oh man, I want to start reading them. And then I started reading them, and I thought, oh, when we're shooting them, we're like, oh wait, we've gone past the stuff that I'm reading. I
Right.
guess I better, I gotta stop. I don't understand what's going on. I better stop. But that was also a great, uh, a great role to
Oh
play. I
yeah.
was,
You did such a
it's
good
funny.
job with it.
My At the same time I was shooting The Expanse, I was still shooting this other show called The Tick.
Oh, I'm a big Tick fan. That's another comic
Yeah,
one.
yeah, and
We had
it,
let's see. Oh shoot. We had we've had Nestor on, but we had
Right.
her name slipping away from me, but she was the kind of the Captain America female
Oh,
role.
yeah.
I'm thinking it's Liz, right? Her name's Liz, I
Yeah,
think.
Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were that's the tick from the show in the 90s.
That's right.
And then the reboot on Amazon. Actually, Liz
She came
voiced
back for both. She just had different roles, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
she voiced she voiced the lobster in the
The
second
lobster.
in the second in the second season.
But you
But
were you played Walter.
yeah, Walter, which is by far in my 40 years of doing this, is my favorite role to play
Really?
anywhere. It
Why
was
is
just
that?
like because, like I say, I was shooting at the same time as I was doing The Expanse, and The Expanse, I'm like this sort of kind of just the bad guy,
Right.
not meaning to be, but I got to save the Earth. What am I going to do? Right?
You got to make hard decisions.
Yeah, but in the Tick, I just Walter is just sort of this kind of schlumpy,
Right.
goofy guy. I was like, man, this is great. I love doing this.
Well, we love Walter.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was such a fun to play. I was like, I was kind of bummed we didn't get a third season because I wanted to know what all
Right.
his
Yeah, that one was it was just ahead of well, both of them were a little bit ahead of their
yeah,
time. And
yeah,
the reboot was only 7-8 years ago. It hadn't even been
yeah,
that long. And I do. The first two seasons were terrific.
yeah,
I was hoping for a third season.
yeah. No, it was fun to do. So, but
Yeah.
hey,
That one probably come back too. It seems to keep popping up like the turtles do.
it could
So maybe
be,
we'll get
it could
another
be.
tick.
It's a sort of specialized. People who are big Tick fans are like huge fans, but
Yeah, that's
other
right.
people who don't know it go, what are you talking about?
Well, it was it was well written and it
Yeah,
had humor that you
yeah,
would
oh yeah,
actually make you laugh reading a
yeah,
comic, and that's
yeah,
just hard. That's
yeah.
hard to do. But yeah,
I I
really good.
I love the animated show in the 90s.
I did too.
Of the Tick. That was just
They did a really good job on that too.
yeah, yeah,
I'm surprised that one hadn't come back.
yeah. Who knows.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's see. You did Love Joan Barry. You had a couple
Oh,
episodes there. That was a show that I was like, there's no way this show's gonna be any good, and it was great.
I
What
know,
a
right?
show!
I watched the first season. I was like, wow, this is kind
Well, in
of
every season, it changed a little bit,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thought that was pretty solid. You'll have to tell me this one because I like to try to think back on what I've seen you in. But weren't you in that? Oh shoot, it was a Bridget Fonda movie, and I
Oh
thought of it
yes,
because I love Bridget Fonda, but she doesn't really act anymore. Point No
right.
Return. That was it.
Yeah, remake of La Femme Nikita.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I got the pleasure of being killed by Harvey Keitel. Uh,
That's right.
and dumped into a spa and having him like throw acid all over my body so that that's how he disposed of his.
That sounds more like something you'd watch on the Penguin.
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
Well,
exactly.
and our white whale, so to
Hmm.
speak, for the podcast is Jennifer Garner. We've been chasing her for
Oh,
6 years because she's from like right where we're
oh,
podcasting.
really? Oh
So
man,
eventually we're going to track her down. But I
right.
remember you on Alias. You popped in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that was the episode where most of the most of the time I was just sitting there going, "Oh, I'm acting opposite of Isabella Rossellini. I can't get over it." But
That
yeah,
was
Jennifer Garner. I've watched her this great movie. Really, one of these action things. Peppermint. Have you seen that?
yes. Yes, I have.
Yes. Right. I was like, oh man,
Excellent.
this is really
Peppermint's
good.
the terrific
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does action really well.
And you know what? It's funny because when I first did the Lost, the first whatever video orientation thing we filmed, I was like, "Yay, man! All right, here I come, Hawaii. And they said, oh, no, it's you got to go to Burbank tomorrow. We're going to shoot tomorrow. I said, well, Burbank? What do you mean? So we go on the set of Alias.
Oh,
They had just wrapped. So we go on into one of their sets, like the office, all the glassy stuff. And
really?
that's where we shot the first orientation video
Yeah.
for
But
Lost.
now, see, that's a pretty good tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my stepdaughter will like that one. That's pretty
All
good.
right.
Yeah, that I thought that Alias would have been remade by now too. Just
Yeah.
because we're kind of in that era now where thankfully we're getting a little more diverse, so we're getting female in action roles more
Yeah.
often,
Yeah.
and that one, before its time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that was a J.J. Abrams show.
Yes. Yes. That was
But
J.J.
I'm
Abrams.
surprised. I thought, it's been 20 years or so. I figured
Right.
they'd try to redo that one.
Yeah. I guess, because like you say, there's a bunch of uh like movies now where it's the female action star,
Yeah.
which is great. It's like this, oh, it's she's a special force and she's just retired, and then she runs into these gangs or whatever, and she just kicks the shit out of them. It's great to watch those, and that everybody's just like, oh, wait a minute, that I see, especially on Netflix, I see like all these things where, oh, look, it's J-Lo, she's doing this, and oh, it's Jessica Alba, now she's an action star. Oh, it's the best one is Charlize Theron
Oh,
as in well, all those movies like Atomic Blonde and stuff, where she just goes crazy.
yeah. She
It's
does
great.
a lot of her stuff's, graphic
Yeah,
novel, comic book based. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
action wise, I mean, even back, she was doing Ian Flux
Yes,
back in the
exactly,
day. And that one kind of
exactly.
set it off. And yeah, she's really good in those type
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I'd forgotten you were in Lethal Weapon 4.
Yes.
You've been doing this a while.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, look, it's uh yeah, man, that was like 90, I forget, 90 something, but
It was
yeah,
90 something.
that was fun to do. It's like, hey, yo, and that was like the sort of well, no, he's done Jet Li's introduction to American
Oh,
public, maybe, because
yeah.
he was the
Yeah,
bad
it may
guy.
have
So
been.
yeah,
That sounds right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that probably was. That probably was. Cuz he let me think. Was he one of the bad guys, or was he kind of the like he was helping him like a sidekick type of thing?
no, no, he was the bad guy.
Okay, that's right. He was the
Yeah,
villain.
he had the big fight at the end with
Yeah, that's right. That's
yeah,
right. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's been too long ago. I used to love those movies.
oh yeah, yeah,
Danny Glover used to crack me up.
yeah.
You know what? You know what's surprising? I'm in my mid 50s now, and he was like in his mid 40s talking about he's too old for this
Oh
stuff.
yeah, oh yeah. I'm too old for this shit.
Back then I was thinking, yeah, he's pretty old. Now
Yeah,
in my mid 50s, I was like, come on. But
yeah.
that's all right.
No, I tend to do. I mean, I love everything, but I'm still waiting to do something on. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so I'm still waiting
It
to.
when I was researching, because I know you've done Stargate.
Yeah,
uh I'm a big Trek fan too, as you can. He's back there somewhere. Yeah.
yeah,
So uh it surprised me going through your IMDb page that you hadn't been on any of the Trek shows. That really
yeah.
did
I know.
surprise
I'm like, I was a huge fan of the original. I'm like, I watch every series that's come out, and I'm like, I could be an alien. I can
me.
I
You'd
can
have
be a
fit right
Vulcan.
into they're coming out with that Section 31 movie this month. You'd have
Right,
fit on
exactly.
that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Eh,
I'm gonna make some calls.
I'll stick around long enough. I'll be that guy on Star Trek. Hey, there's that guy. As long as well,
We've
I'll
been
even put
waiting
on a
on him.
red.
Where's he been?
Yeah, I'll even put on a red shirt.
you know, I would happily don a red shirt and wouldn't even need any lines. Just
Yeah,
have me
no,
be
I'd
the
be like,
guy that goes on the away team and gets killed immediately. I'm fine.
Exactly. That.
Like, I'll do that. Avatar, The Last Airbender. That was another one. My stepdaughter loved that one. She turned me on to that. But yeah,
that was
terrific.
good. That was fun to do. I'm not sure. I think they're shooting season 2, 3 right now, but
that's what I hear. I haven't really heard too many details about it.
I think they must be skipping. I don't know, because the kids now don't look like kids anymore. So they grow fast. So
well, that's the problem with you can't really take a year and a half between seasons.
Yeah,
if you've got kids, you got to move.
Yeah, especially younger kids who.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 months later they look like, oh, what happened to you?
Well, yeah, because they hit a growth spurt and
it's
a totally different kid.
Yep.
I always remember, I'm only about 5'9", but I went from 5'2" to 5'9" in about a year and a half.
Wow.
I was sixth grade, so I was probably 12 or so, maybe 13. And for like one summer, I was tall.
Yeah.
Like, I was taller than most of my classmates. And then by like fall, they'd already passed me. And I've been the same height ever since.
Yeah.
I thought there was that moment. I thought, I'm going to be tall.
You get to age, I've got to warn you, you're going to start shrinking.
Oh, I know. I've already seen it with my dad and his dad.
Yeah.
We're all the same height. Every man in our family is like 5'8", 5'9". And they start losing inches as they get older.
There you go. Yeah. Your feet get bigger and you get shorter.
It does feel that way.
Yeah.
I've watched Dad. He still says he's 5'9", and I'm like, you're maybe 5'7" at best. Yeah. He used to be taller than me. He's not anymore.
It's coming.
Oh, I know. I've already got this. That came from him. So I wanted to mention this one too, because we got cable when I was 9 years old. So it was 1978. The only channel that came with it was TBS.
Right.
But the picture was better. You got a better picture. But that was it. So at that time, they were, I guess, just looking for content. So, we got a lot of the 50s and 60s sitcom stuff, Little Rascals, Three Stooges, all that. But they also did a lot of the Japanese type of shows, the anime, and they brought in, I used to watch Ultraman all the time.
Ultraman,
and then now you're doing the cartoon on Netflix, which is that's pretty great, because I used to love that one. It had that. They did Space Giants, some of those but they're all kind of in that theme.
For the stuff, the Japanese stuff was the most popular one was Speed Racer, of course.
Speed Racer is my absolute favorite cartoon of all time. I still am. Huge Speed Racer fan. I love that one.
It was, I watched all of those when on my little black and white TV with the antennas. You gotta just.
Were you a Speed fan or were you a Racer X fan?
Oh, Racer X. You can't. That's it, right?
I know. He was too cool.
He's too cool. He's just.
I like the Mach 5 better, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what he called his. I think it had a 9. It was yellow.
Yeah, it was something. But no,
Mach 5 was the car. I still want that car.
I know. I want that jumping, the boom.
He had the jumping. He had the little thing came out and cut down trees.
Yeah. The saws and
the homing, pigeon or whatever.
Right.
That was pretty good. I miss those days. That one, and I think at that time Astro Boy came over. I was watching Johnny Quest. That wasn't from Japan, but that was out around.
Yeah, no, Johnny Quest was always,
But Speed Racer, that's music to my ears. I mean, as soon as I heard that theme song, I was hooked. I was like, that's the catchiest theme song. How about you've been doing this now 4 decades or so, or have you done everything, or is there like a genre that you'd like to get into?
Well, as weird as it seems, I would love to do a rom-com.
Oh, nice.
It would just be like, hey, I wouldn't be the bad guy. I wouldn't be like staring
I'd like
people
to
down.
see you in a rom-com as the love interest.
Yeah, yeah, I can,
We need more rom-coms around, our ages.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
You know,
We're still there. We're falling in
yeah,
love.
I'm ready. I'm ready I'm good for a few more years.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. No, it
Or
would be fun to do.
maybe you could do the Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know
Exactly.
how those go.
Yeah.
You've left your town for for
Right.
bigger things, and then it didn't work out for whatever reason, so you had to
And
come back to
I
with
come
your
back and
tail
my
between
old
your legs, and
yeah,
you fall in love.
right. My old prom date is still there.
She's still there, pining for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd have to
Yeah.
be something though. When you left, you'd have to be like, "I'm never coming back to this
Yeah.
this town."
No, that would be great. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see you in a rom-com.
I could combine it into like a rom-com slash, action thing where I left and became some like, you know, hitman, and now I've retired, and I regret the things I've done, and I got
You're
to go
just
back
trying to live
home
a
to my
quiet
roots.
life.
Right. And I fall in love, but of course, my old life catches up with me, and I gotta just kick some ass.
A little combo rom-com
There
action
you go.
thriller. I
There you
like
go.
that.
Hey, well,
But it has to wrap up nicely at the end.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta like get the girl at the end, or
Yeah,
whatever. But it has to work out
of
good.
course.
Yeah, it has to have a decent that. See, that's the type of movie or series that would last.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I could
yeah,
see them making sequels to that.
yeah.
Once you
I
add the
gotta.
action in, I mean, it's basically you just keep trying to stop that line of work, and it just keeps dragging you back in.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
I think I'm in. Then we
All
could be
right, man.
debating your movie on whether
Yeah,
or not it's actually a Christmas movie.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that would be terrible. I saw that you made an appearance on Fantasy Island. Was that one of the newer versions?
The new version.
The
Yes.
newest one, yeah, yeah.
The
I don't remember you being on there. When
I was let's see, this was a few years ago.
yeah.
This is right. We were still in kind of COVID stuff.
Oh, so it was around
So
2020 or so, 2021, something like that.
21, 20 maybe.
Yeah.
And it's shot in Puerto Rico.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, yeah. We the whole thing was we were at this resort in Puerto Rico, uh, where it looks like Fantasy Island, and
Yeah.
that's where it was based. So you would fly out there and shoot your stuff, and it was great. It was great. It was just a lot of fun to do.
I always
Uh,
liked the old one because they showed it after the Love Boat on
yeah,
like Saturday night.
the that was the original one with Ricardo Montalban.
That's right. That's right.
But they've done a couple of they tried a
Yeah,
couple
because
of
they
reboots.
came out with another one maybe a decade after that one went off the air, and then there was a movie, and now
They tried to redo it with Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right? And yeah, Love Boat was another one of my favorites because I love old movies, right? So Love Boat would be the place where they'd have all these old stars. Come on,
Oh, I know.
right?
I know.
The stunt casting. I'm like, hey, look, hey, look, it's Fernando Lamas, and he's where's he been?
I had Fred Grandy on, and
Uh,
he did a lot of the writing for that show,
oh,
which I
really?
didn't realize. But he said it was really about the guest stars that they could
Oh
get
yeah,
for the week.
oh yeah,
Like even over the story, it was
yeah,
just
oh yeah.
who can we get, and then they figure out how to
Right,
fit them in.
right. Who can we get? That's now Love Boat is my I do have a credit on that Love Boat.
Really?
Uh, I this casting lady calls me up and says, "Hey, I heard you speak French. You speak French?" I said, "Yeah." You're okay, read something in French for me. So I got a magazine or something. I started reading French. And she said, okay, good. So, you come down to this place tomorrow, the studio tomorrow. We got a voiceover thing for you to do. So, okay. So I get there, and it's the Love Boat, and there is a couple of seasons in, I think, because they're in the south of France or something, right? And there's
Well, yeah, the boat moved around a little bit.
yeah, and there's a whole bicycle race, the Tour de France thing going on. So and I guess the whatever guest stars are watching it, but they needed a commentator, to do the
Well,
do
so
the
was
race.
it just your voice?
Yeah, it was my voice to do the race, and then but there was no script or anything. And I'm like, oh, wait, what do you mean? So they said, no, just start talking as they call the race and see, do stuff like that. Oh, he's ahead, and
Well,
oh,
most
he's
people
winning.
wouldn't be speaking French anyway, so I guess they wouldn't know.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of hard to do, but so that was my one credit on Love Boat that I can
That counts.
yeah, I can boast about. I was on the Love Boat.
Yeah, that's funny. I had no idea, and I'm sure I've seen that episode. I watched it.
I'm sure it's it's
They tried that one a couple of times more, brought
yeah,
it back a few times, but they didn't go very well.
No, they didn't.
Had trouble recapturing that magic.
Yeah, yes. There's not enough. There's not enough stars to old stars to guest star on the show. That was the whole catch. It was like it was like what was that other show? Murder She Wrote.
Oh,
right?
Murder She Wrote, yeah.
They're just bunch of all these old TV stars, movie stars.
Yeah, it was another one that was more about the guests that they could get.
Yeah.
Then they kind of made the stories around.
Yeah.
If I want, this is one that my stepdaughter asked. She said, if you could have been somebody else on Lost, who would you've chosen?
Ooh.
What role would you have taken?
I probably. I wouldn't mind being Locke.
Oh, you could have been Locke. Yeah, that would work.
That would have been a fun. That would have been fun to do.
But only if he gets your role.
yeah, he can be.
He could be a scientist.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Locke would be fun. Most of them were, or the Desmond.
Oh, Desmond would have been a good
Desmond.
one. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that actually.
Desmond is funny because Ian, I had we were in our 20s, I think, and I did a show. I did a play in London, and he was in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was it was like early 19, like 29. I want to say 93, 94 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I went to the show, and it was kind of a weird show. We're talking about it later, and I was like, man, I don't know about you, but I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of hoping I wouldn't get fired or anything.
That was the show. Yeah, that was the show you did in the 90s with him.
Yeah, it was a play in London.
Oh, it was a play. Okay.
Yeah, I played in London.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what show that was.
No. This is a play in like London's version of Off Broadway, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just talked to Jeff Kober from China Beach.
Right.
And you had an appearance on there.
I did. Yep. There was a point where I did China Beach. I did what was the other Vietnam show? Tour of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
It was around the same time, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And wonderful Dana Delaney was I worked with her a few times.
She's a terrific actress.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm like, wow. Now I watch her now on what's that? That's Sylvester Stallone show. Tulsa King.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she's really good on that.
Oh yeah. And she looks, I mean, she's, I'm like, dude, you haven't aged too much.
No, she looks the same. I always liked her in Tombstone.
Yeah.
Of course, Everybody in that movie was good.
Yeah, yeah. Remember? Do you remember? That was he. What was it? God, see, Senior Moment. He's a big star now. He's in a show now called Landsman.
Oh,
Land.
it's not Billy Bob you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
yeah. Billy Bob.
Yeah, yeah.
Billy Bob and Tombstone, right?
That oh that yeah, he was the he got thrown out of the bar
Right. He came
by his
back
ear.
with a shotgun, and Kurt Russell was like, said something, and he's like,
Yeah,
well,
he's like,
okay,
yeah. It was Johnny something. It wasn't Johnny Ringo. That was the other
no,
one. Johnny. It
that's
was
Michael
Johnny
Bean. Yeah,
something though.
yeah.
And Johnny Tyler maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Madcap
but
is what he called him.
yeah,
Madcap. Yeah, he's like, you can go now.
yeah.
He's like, thank you. I saw. I went to a taping of Jimmy Kimmel a few years
Uh-huh.
back, and Billy Bob was the guest with that. Yeah, he's a really good actor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that everything that they've connected with Yellowstone has been great. But I'm
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoying that new one. That was really good, and he's great in it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with TV now. It's too much, and it's all
It,
good.
it is. It is. All the streaming stuff I've got, like, ooh, like I say, I got my list of stuff that I got to get to, which I
It's
probably will
hard to
not.
get to it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can get to, one every few months, that's not bad. But there's, hundreds.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm like I'm in heaven because TV and movies if I could, I would just be.
Well, they're so good. It's one
I
of
would be.
those that there's so much good stuff out. If I'm watching something and I don't really care for it,
Yeah.
in the past, I'd have probably stuck it out. I don't anymore.
Right.
I just
Right.
move,
Yeah.
pick something else
Yeah.
because I don't have time to waste on something I don't like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Too much stuff I want to try.
Now, do you have a? Are you a big like sci-fi, or what's the
Oh
genre
yeah, I'm
that
big
you like?
sci-fi. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's I was a big reader growing up, not just comic books,
Yeah.
any book I could get a hold of. So fantasy sci-fi, that's kind of the genres that I tend to be drawn to, but I watch
Yeah.
everything. I'm just
Yeah.
a
I
kind of a media person. I just watch everything.
that that's me. I love sci-fi. I'm a big Western guy.
Oh, I love
I love
westerns.
Westerns.
What's
Yeah.
your western? What's your go-to western?
Well, I'm talking about back in the days of, like, Bonanza and Gunsmoke and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe Wild Wild West was pretty.
Loved it. That was
Was
another
there.
one TBS showed when they
Yeah,
first came out.
yeah,
I'm a big Wild West fan. That they always had the coolest gadgets on there.
yeah. I mean, it was sort of a Western, whatever, James Bond. He was just.
It was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always
It was
watched
great.
Maverick. My dad
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
James Garner fan, so we
James
watched
Garner.
a lot of Maverick. But I love love Clint Eastwood westerns, love John Wayne westerns.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
if it's western, well, and Kevin Costner does good westerns.
He does. He does. He does. The old westerns you watch, and then it's great because a lot of episodes you go, hey, wait a minute, I think that's Harrison Ford right
Oh
there,
yeah,
or hey, wait a minute, I think that's Robert Redford. Hey, there he is.
I remember doing that with Lee Majors. What he was on
Yeah,
one of the what was the Big Valley, I
Big
think.
Valley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
hey, because by the time I was watching it, he'd already been the $6 million man.
Oh
I was
yes,
watching
yes.
reruns of it, and I was like, hey, there's Lee Majors.
There he is.
Well, Bonanza was good about that. You could watch that; you'll see all kinds of stars.
Oh yeah.
Guest
Well, anyway,
stars
it
on it.
ran for like 100 years, so
Yeah,
just everybody was on it sooner or later.
yeah. I know I was a little Joe fan, like most of us, I guess. But
Yeah. I'm more partial to Haas. I don't know.
Haas, as I get older,
Yeah,
I'm that way. I was like, Haas was probably the one, but as a kid,
yeah.
it was Little Joe. And then you had the other one, the older brother,
Adam,
Adam. Yeah, I was gonna say Eric,
Yeah,
but it was Adam. Yeah,
Adam. Yeah, he didn't. After a few seasons, he said, I'm bored. I'm gone. So
that's
he
it.
took
Yeah, he
off,
wasn't
and
around as much.
they had to get somebody else to come make three
He
of
did.
them.
He was
So
kind of like Chuck on Happy Days.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
older
yeah.
brother was
The
in the
first
first little
like two
bit.
episodes, and then all of a sudden there's like,
He's gone.
hey, what happened to Chuck? He went off to college, and
We never saw him again.
no,
You think like shows, I think they've gotten better at that type of thing because that happens even with modern shows. But now at least they'll mention them once in a while.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, Chucky's still off at college.
yeah,
I wish he'd come visit more. Yeah, I thought that would have been a good last episode cameo for Happy Days.
yeah,
Than to
yeah.
bring him back. He'd
To
be
be
like,
like,
I'm
Chuck,
back from college.
yeah,
Of course, he probably
I'm,
graduated by then.
I,
Well, sir, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. You've been doing this for so long. We could talk the rest of the weekend and might not get
you know, if you start talking movies and TV, I can
same.
talk your ears off for, you know, whatever.
Well, I
Believe
hope
me.
at some point you'll come back. We'll do a part 2.
You got it. Anytime, anytime. It's a pleasure.
Now, this has been the best. A couple little things, though, sir, before I let you go. We just watched Penguin. Anything
Right.
else that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
I did Penguin. I did there's a show on Peacock called Laid.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah.
What was your role in that?
So I come in like in the last like 2 minutes
Yeah.
because I'm her dad.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Are
So
we? Is that one going to get a second season? You think?
well, I don't,
Because it was
they're
kind of
still waiting.
promoted like a limited series. So I was like, well, does that mean it's just a
But
year?
you know, they ended with that cliffhanger.
They
Of him
did. It
showing
had a
up going,
cliffhanger.
hey, dude, you know, it's happening to me too, and you know, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
And then so
that was
who
a
knows?
surprisingly good show.
Yeah, it was great. It was
I
it was
completely forgot that. We watched that one, my wife and I,
yeah,
in like a weekend. Because
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of episodes, and
Yeah,
it's
my wife
really
and I
good.
started watching it. I thought, oh, we're like, oh, the first episode is all the setup is a little, you know, it's like okay, a little, and then once it got going, we're like,
Yeah,
this is
you got to
great, this
give
is
it an
great.
episode to set everything up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard, you know. I
enjoyed
hear that her character is so like unlikable. After a
That
while,
was
you
the
go,
problem we were
you just want to
having.
smack her.
Yeah,
Say,
that was the
get
problem we
out
were
of
having
it.
because usually you want to like the
Yeah,
main
yeah,
character,
yeah,
but she was
yeah.
hard to like.
She was just like, hey, come on. But you know, got my fingers crossed. I hope we get another season. I'll come back and
Yeah,
tell you
we
what.
were hoping when it ended, we're like, oh, I hope they
Yeah,
because that was a pretty good cliffhanger. I was like, oh, I hope
yeah,
they bring that back. Yeah,
yeah,
well, that's good. Well, yeah, very good, very good. So we'll
yeah.
keep if they bring you back for season 2, then maybe we can talk again. That'd be
There
good.
you go. There you go.
Get a little insight on that. Yeah,
You know.
yeah, I completely forgot that because you're right. It was like right at the end.
Yeah, I was like, oh, knock knock, who's that? Oh, it's me. Oh, it's that guy. He's showing up.
I've been Peacock. They had a little bit of a rough start because of 2020 and everything that
Yeah,
happened, but
yeah,
they're starting to put out some pretty good shows on there.
yeah,
That,
yeah.
Apples Never Fall. Never Fall. That one was really good.
Apple uh, has had some great shows
Oh yeah.
that people like. No, I'm like people really don't know about. But I mean, I just watched the finale of this great sci-fi show, Silo. You watch that
Oh,
on Apple?
we're watching season 2 right now.
Oh, yeah,
Love
it's
Silo.
it's still good. Season 2, I kept thinking, you know, where are you in season 2? Are you
We are on, I think, episode 4.
okay?
So
It's
yeah, I'm trying to think what just happened. It's still kind
what's
of like they're starting to revolt a little bit because she's
right,
out there
right,
and they saw her go over the hill.
right, right.
So they're tamping down the revolt right now.
It's still great. I just, you know, I guess it's the same with the book or something, but I wish there was more of her,
Same.
right?
Yeah,
She's kind of the heart of the
Rebecca
show, and you go,
Ferguson,
okay,
she's terrific in it.
but she's great. No, and I just watched the finale, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, is it finale or is there
No,
did they
no.
leave it open?
I heard they were picked up for like at least 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so we got
so
a while
there's
yet.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's a good one because it's a little bit of a slow burn too. It took a
yeah,
little
yeah,
while to
yeah,
get
yeah,
going at the
yeah.
start and trying to figure out they got to build the world a little bit. So you got to figure
Right,
out
exactly,
what's happening.
exactly.
But
So
that
yeah,
the
no,
cliffhanger at the end of season 1 was great.
oh man, yeah. I was like, oh, you knew when she went out the door it was gonna be,
Oh yeah,
she's gonna find something, but you didn't think,
something's
oh,
out there.
yeah, yeah,
It was it was a little surprising. What I've seen so far has been a little surprising, but that's good. I'm
yeah,
good with that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great one. Yeah,
yeah.
the we finished Shrinking and then started.
Right. Oh, that's great too.
I love it because I've got Parkinson's. I got
Uh-huh.
diagnosed last year, so the symptoms are still pretty mild for me. But
Right, right.
Harrison Ford in that show, he's playing a character with Parkinson's, and he does
Yeah,
it so well.
he does. He does. I'm waiting. Well, I hear that uh there's going to be 3 seasons only.
That's what I'd
So
heard too. That
there's
the
one
third
more
one's the
season
last
coming
one.
up
Yeah,
because I mean, how far can they take yeah,
right.
his
And yeah,
Parkinson's? Because
yeah. It's but he's so subtle with it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I'm going through some of that, so I'm like, hey,
Oh
that was pretty
man,
good.
it's funny. You watch Harrison Ford in that, and you go, and I think, man, he's having a great time because he gets to do this stuff that he's not having to be Han Solo
Yeah.
or
Well, he did
Indiana
that. He
Jones or
did that.
whatever.
He did a Yellowstone prequel. Was great in
Right,
it.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
But
He's not getting any
shrinking,
younger, but he's still pretty good.
no, man, I think shrinking is like his, he's like, oh, this is what I this is what I like to do.
Well, yeah, because he's funny.
Yeah, yeah,
He's got that kind of self-deprecating humor in it, and he's gruff, like you
yeah,
love about Harrison Ford. So yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, okay. So the last
All
thing,
right.
sir, before I let you go,
Yeah.
where can we find you on social media?
Uh, you know, I might show
You
my
need a
age here.
guy. You got to get you a social media guy.
No, yeah, I know. I used to when I first like a few years ago, I met this guy and he said, "Oh, well, you're on social media." I'm like, "Well, no, I don't think so." So he was like my ninja. He would like post stuff when he would tell
Yep.
me how to do stuff. But after a while, I was like, well, I'm on Facebook and what is it? Oh, now it's called X.
Yeah.
And I think I'm on Instagram because my daughter made a thing for me, but every once in a
The
while,
kids are really good about doing that
oh,
stuff.
I'm like, oh, what's this? What are you? How? She's like, give me that phone. But I'm not. I'm. What do you call those? I think there's a term for a lurker. No, lurk. I just
Oh yeah, yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I never
Lurkers
post
kind of
stuff.
that kind of fits.
Yeah, I never post
But
stuff unless it's oh
you just
somebody
hanging out
posted.
watching everything else that's posted.
Yeah, I kind of scroll down and see, oh, that's
Well, that's
interesting.
how
Oh,
I do X. I mean, I
yeah,
post the stuff for the show, but other than that,
yeah,
I'm not posting anything personal. I just get on there to scroll.
yeah. I mean, there's people who like, oh, hey, here I am at Starbucks with having a coffee. I'm like, oh, that's nice, but okay. I,
It is
that's
when you really think about it, it is kind of ridiculous because we're
yeah.
just
Well,
posting stuff about what we're eating and
right, right.
this is what I'm doing today, but they're
Yeah,
not doing anything. They're
yeah,
taking a walk or
exactly,
something. I'm like,
exactly,
okay.
exactly. But I guess it's a good way for people to,
Well, it keeps you in touch.
yeah, yeah,
The to me the best part about any of the social media is just the ability to connect with people that maybe you've lost track of.
right, right, right. Yeah, on
That's
Facebook
pretty good.
you can like search for somebody and go,
Yeah,
oh,
and
hey,
I always
yeah,
love
there you
that.
go.
Facebook's the one I'm on most of the time because I'm old.
Yeah, me
It,
too.
it's easy to use and stuff. But you gotta skip over all the negativity and that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
And,
how it
and then
is. It's like Facebook was great for about 2 minutes, and then we screwed it up.
right. I kind of feel the same way about what like I say now it's called X.
Yeah,
It used to be Twitter. It's like now it's like, oh shit, oh man,
it
oh
was
man.
better, honestly, when they limited the. You only had you could only put like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
screenshot.
You can only like
It was
28
really a
letters or
tweet
something,
because it
right?
was just
Yeah,
real short, but it was
yeah,
better because then you
yeah.
didn't get all the negativity.
Right,
There wasn't
exactly.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Got
I
no
guess
space to put that.
it's a way for everybody to put in their 2 cents about anything.
That's it. I know, and I'm just as bad as everybody else, I
Yeah.
suppose. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so
Well,
you can
sir,
find
thank
me
you
on
so
there
much.
maybe
Yeah, maybe.
if I figure out what I'm doing.
Well, I'll find you.
Yeah. Sometimes I oh, you got to post this, or oh, you got to, or if I'm like going to a Comic-Con or something, they make me
Yeah,
go,
you
oh, I'll
want to
be
post
at
something for
the
the fans. Yeah.
blah 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 for So
Do
that's
you
about
get
the
to do a
extent of
lot
it.
of cons?
I've been doing it for a few years,
Yeah,
and
they're fun.
it's still kind of just a little side gig for me.
Yeah.
I do maybe eh, 5 or 6 a year.
Oh, that's
Uh,
pretty good.
it depends. Yeah, but I know other people who are like every weekend.
Oh yeah.
They're because I mean, and then every weekend there's a con somewhere.
Well,
Uh,
when I was growing up and when I owned the comic stores, there was no Hollywood presence at the cons. It was just
right,
writers and
right,
artists. And it
yeah,
was mostly, I mean, you had to pay the fee to get in, but you didn't
right,
pay for autographs or anything. It was
yeah, yeah,
mostly
yeah, yeah.
just free. And now, it's big business now.
Oh man, I go to cons, and then a lot of times I see a star, and I go, I'm thinking, the hell are you doing here, man?
They're making some money.
Are you do you need this? I don't think so. But yeah, there's a lot of money to be made.
I
Yeah.
always said if I had a role like, let's say, like what you did on Lost,
Mhm.
I would just be showing up at the conventions in a lab coat, just
Yeah,
uninvited, just for the rest of my life. I'd be
yeah,
doing that. I'm here.
yeah. Hey, here I am. Yeah, no, but uh, I've seen uh, I've seen Shatner at a bunch of conventions,
Yeah.
and he's still going strong. And he's one of the guys I'm thinking, I don't think you need this, but they must be paying you a lot
He,
of money.
I got to moderate for him a couple years ago. He
Oh,
came through town and
right,
he did his, they watched Wrath of Khan and then he comes out and
right,
does his
right.
show. And so I got to moderate, which was the
Yeah.
easiest moderation I've ever done because it was like ask a question, he talked for 20 minutes,
Oh,
ask a
wow.
question, he talked. So I asked like 4 questions
Yeah.
and then he talked for a couple hours with that.
Oh, great, great. I
He
think
was unbelievable. And
yeah, he was good. You gotta catch him at a when he's in a good mood.
well, that's right. He's a curmudgeon for sure. But
Yeah.
he finished like we finished about midnight.
Wow.
And because he does the taking the pictures after and stuff. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
about
yeah.
midnight. Well, he was driving himself 4 hours to the
Yeah.
next stop. So instead of waiting until morning, he was leaving from there, driving 4 hours, and then he's like, "I'll sleep when I get there." And then he had
Wow,
a show
man.
the next night somewhere. I was like, "Hey," and he's in his 90s.
Yeah, he's like 95, I think, something like
I
that.
mean, I had, while everybody was watching Wrath of Khan, I was backstage having dinner with him. So it's just the two of us.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I told people, I was like, when it was just two of us, he was just Bill, and
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
asked about, my stuff. He was curious. He talked about his dogs. As soon as he
Right.
walked on stage,
Yeah,
William Shatner,
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
totally different person.
yeah.
But yeah, for me, that was probably the highlight of doing this podcast was getting to do that one in person because
That's awesome.
that was pretty
That's
cool and it
awesome.
was so easy,
Yeah,
because he did
yeah.
all the work. I was just like, here's Bill. That's all I do. All right, sir. Hold on one second.
He has an amazing, amazing career. Because
Oh, unbelievable.
after Star Trek, you think, oh, he's Captain Kirk. That's it, no more.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like,
Wait.
what
TJ
is
Hooker.
yeah. And
Unsolved Mysteries. Or not Unsolved Mysteries. What was his? The Rescue something.
no, but then he had that cop show, TJ Hooker.
That was
Remember
TJ
that?
Hooker. Yeah, that was big.
And then he came back in that lawyer show,
Oh yeah,
Boston, right?
Boston Legal. I loved
Right.
him on
Boston
that.
Legal.
I even loved
He
it
was
when
great.
him and Terry Bradshaw and that group were running around, doing the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
kind of the
yeah, yeah.
reality show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bradshaw and him and
Oh, and
George
Henry
Foreman.
Winkler was on there.
Yeah, Winkler and Foreman were all.
Oh yeah, I forgot about George. That was a pretty good show, just
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great.
All right, sir. Hold on one
All right,
second.
man.
I'm such a fan of Francois. He's an unbelievable actor. I hope you enjoyed that. So honored that I got to talk with him. He's just absolutely terrific. I think we hit most of what I wanted to talk about. He did some voicing with Raya and the Last Dragon. He did a Birds of Prey movie. Let's see. He's been in Law and Order, Organized Crime, Quantum Leap, Chicago Med. I'm going to have to read, so you're going to see the top of my bald head. Apologies. American Gigolo, The Good Doctor, Magnum PI, Veronica Mars. Loved him on Veronica Mars. Last Man Standing. We talked about The Tick, NCIS, The X-Files, MacGyver. He was on both of them, the old one and the new one. Major Crimes. Loved him on there. Bones, Criminal Minds. Nikita, Castle, Chuck. Loved him on Chuck. Gary Unmarried. Very underrated show. Really enjoyed that one. Grey's Anatomy. Stargate, Jag, Walker, Texas Ranger, Nightman from the 90s. That's a comic book show. ER, Time Tracks. And of course, we talked about G.I. Joe. He was Quick Kick. If you're an Expanse fan, make sure you check out our Expanse playlist. We have had a large part of that cast on the podcast, so make sure you check that one out. And Lost, we've had Nestor Carbonell has been on, and a few of the kind of returning guest stars, not the main cast, but the returning guest stars. And of course, now we've got Francois as well, so you can check that out. I haven't got a Lost playlist yet, but I'll make one to make sure that you can find him there. But yeah, just terrific. His work on the Penguin was great. If you haven't watched that show, it is definitely worth your time, especially if you're a DC or a comic book fan. It's really, really well done. Francois was terrific in it. And I did love him as Walter on The Tick. I'm glad he brought that up. I thought he was really, I'm a big Tick fan, so thought that was terrific. If you're finding us for the first time, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Really helps us out. Doesn't cost you a dime. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find almost 900 episodes, audio and video versions. So please check us out there. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, it'll be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.